All right, guys, start dropping your questions. Start dropping your questions. All right. What method are you using to do this? My own method. I've learned from Holly. I've learned from Brent. I've learned from Michael. And I tell people and they don't, he's pissy, but I've even learned from JJ, you know, Mr. Old Jamesy. I've learned from him, and I just take everything I've learned, I mix it up into Willy cake, and that's what I do. You got to learn from everybody. If you're not learning from everybody, then you're obviously doing something wrong. I never wanted to get into YouTube until I met up with James. So let's see. What method am I using? Just explain it. I'm seeing 3 of Williams. I have ones where it's after, Chase goes after, SEO checklist, and you'll see my shit, bam, 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 and then Chase. It's like, or Chase, bam, 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 me, so I love it. It creates traffic for all of us. So same thing. Well, I'm trying to get YouTube to create a YouTube channel because we can start feeding off of each other.
It's coming.
That's all it happens, man. Y'all do something, I do something. Go check. Because what I do with Chris, like for instance, on the end tab after they watch my video, at the very end, you'll see it says watch the next video and it has Chris. So I'm feeding him off of that too.
Yeah, YouTube loves the share.
Yeah, because it's
Google loves the share. So that's why I get so hooked up in Tumblr, because I can create my own share and my own comments and my own link.
Joseph Bang, awesome. Ken, thumbs up, got it. Cash money. Patrick, hi. Ken, hi. I don't see it either. You have to check. It looks up legit. Laughing out loud, it is definitely there. Patrick, why are you looking for how to build a website? Because I am testing things out and I'm going after high competition volume to create a viral or to get a whole lot of views. I got 430 views, my little old self, in less than 2 days. So that's 10%, engaging. Well, 10% views and then 34 comments already. So nice. It'll be over 1,000, in the next day or so. Australian, yeah, I'm using 4G USA proxies. Dennis, hi, William and gang, landed my second GMB gig for a lawyer. Any advice? Better charge them good is all I got to say if it's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I used to charge a lawyer about $4,000. I'd walk in there, he'd say checks on the table. I wouldn't even have to see him. So I'd be charging him and charging them good.
So any of those life and money, make sure you have a ton of credentials from somebody checking their content. Make sure that you have a great profile of your lawyer or your lawyers. You have to prove that it's legit. You have to prove that they are what they are. There's no lead gen in lawyer. You'll get nowhere. You need to fact check your data and you need to make sure you have a good profile. That's what I would suggest. If you don't have those pages, make them.
What VPN do I use, Gary? I only started using this because Fresnel did it, but NordVPN, because someone would say they're ranking number 1 on certain terms, and then we check in VPN or incognito and nowhere to be found. So let's see. Patrick, William, your screen is tiny. My screen is still tiny.
It is actually, yeah.
It's weird. Let me do something else. Give me 1 second. I have a feeling I know why.
I didn't want to say anything because I just got a new monitor that's it's 46-inch monitor widescreen gaming monitor.
46s.
I thought it was just my monitor.
Yeah, I have one that's 49 inches, which is what y'all are on. I have a feel. I know why now.
Now I got monitor envy.
Then my other monitors are much bigger than that. So now we go back into OBS and let me fix this for you guys real quick. I don't know why, but we'll see if that helped it any. Looks fine on this end. So let's see. Big room today. Yeah, it's usually we're getting about 40 to 60 people depending on the days, most days anymore, but at least 40 to 50 anymore. Gary, you just got over Rona. Same here, Rona and pneumonia. Rona and bronchitis for them. What 4G proxies are you using, Mr. Michael?
No, he's talking to you.
I won't talk about that.
I'm using my own proxies.
I don't use my own. I will tell you this. We got about a good 60 servers. Put it like that. And I am going to be testing some other CTR, and I do have a website I will be launching called click-through-rate-manipulation.com and EDM. So someone better get ready to hold their pants. Ollie made it in. Oh. Kim, we're still getting these people in here. I can't let my secrets out, man. I can't let them all out. I would let them out, Gary, but I can't let everything out. You know me, I like sharing most everything, but I ain't sharing that shit. Am I still using Astra Pro? We use Astra Pro, Gary, along with Gutenberg and Elementor. So we use a little bit of everything. Let's see here. Do you have any recommended VPSs and proxies, Mike and Brent?
Mike's the VPS guy. I mean, I use Blazing proxies, semi-dedicated, but that's the proxies I use.
What was the question?
VPS. What's your go-to? What's your go-to?
Contabo I was using for a while, but somebody just put me on to solid SEO VPS, and I'm digging that shit so far.
It's tight, eh? I logged into yours.
Yeah.
It's tight. It's easy. It's strong. Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, for that $10 level, I can't believe it because I got CTR, I got CTR booster running on that bitch and Money Robot, and that's crazy because VPSs get expensive when you want a Windows license on it, right? So for $10, like wow. So that's what I've been using as of late.
1 second, guys.
And proxies, like I'm not even trying to be a douchebag or nothing, but just like don't even ask me because the shit changes so often that I'm not trying to recommend proxies to nobody and hear shit later. I'm just not.
I don't use VPSs, nor do I use the proxies I use. I'm not going to tell anybody about them. So you can ask me all day and I'll tell you, not telling you. The 4G aspect, at least. And the other proxies, like Michael said, one day some are good, another day they're bad. And then if I tell you they're good and you come and they're no good, then you want to bitch at me. So I ain't saying shit.
Yep. And then if it's anything to do with fucking scraping or any shit like that, and you mention that shit to 30, 40, 50, 100 people, then them proxies are shot in a couple days because everybody starts abusing them shit. So it's, there's not that many companies out there. Just dibble and dabble, man.
All right, Joseph, this is a question for Brent and Michael. because they're the ones that use Viper. I used to use Viper, but using Viper, mixing it up with GMB Viper, YouTube Viper, Google Viper, citations, posts on GMB with Bitly, iframes of GMB on web page, it equals, is that enough to rank in a competitive niche like real estate and lawyer?
I mean, we've talked about it in here a ton of times. That's an impossible question to answer. If the on page isn't solid, like if you haven't watched all of William's stuff and built out all your pages the way they're supposed to be built out, and you don't have the content based on what your competitors are, and then I'm testing some new stuff that I just learned about where the content should be and what the hotspots are, and you're gonna hear a term being used pretty frequently coming up called the cliff. So are you above the cliff? So all of those things need to happen before what you're doing, what you're talking about. If all the things that we just talked about are legit, are good, and what you're doing, I would say yes. I would say yes. The problem, if you're not seeing those results, you're missing the basics. And, we've talked about it in here a bunch of times. Unfortunately, we're all busy and we try and skip the basics and go right to the shiny tool. And the shiny tool only works if the basics are done. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Mike, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, basically exactly what you said. And then with a little, whatever that fancy word is, on top of it would be maybe, he said, what niche did he say? Sorry, I don't feel well. So it's a little
real estate and lawyer.
Yeah, you probably gonna need links too, bro, because that's competitive. You know what I mean? So just like good on page and traffic might get you there, but it probably not. You're probably gonna need some links. You're probably gonna have to spend a little bit of money. That's my opinion. I don't deal with that niche, but from what I hear from all my buddies, and again, that's dependent on geo competition. So it could be enough, but if it's not enough and everything that Brent said is in order, then it's time for some links.
Whenever I did personal injury in Jacksonville, Florida, which is pretty competitive. It's not like New York, but it's still a big city. I had my own private PBN for that lawyer. So it's very competitive. It's not just, hey, walk in and you got, 1 million people or 500,000. It's they are reporting your asses if you're not doing something right. They are watching you. Your competition is watching you. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of crap. And if you slip, you're going to be in trouble. It ain't going to be a matter if. You will be in trouble. By trouble, I mean, can you afford a 6-figure penalty? Or maybe someone getting kicked off the lawyer's board? It ain't no joke. Same thing with medical. Fuck with HIPAA and see what happens. HIPAA comes after you with 6-figure penalty.
Yeah, dental's the same.
Yeah. Let's see. You got a tool to know how many pages your competitor has, and you really want to know. It's just Exagio does it, which we've already demoed, which I love. And Michael probably knew I was going to love that shit. Been hiding that shit from me. I met the guy. I talked to him a year ago, and I kind of just and Michael's sitting over here the whole time.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That's like the third thing that you come up with, and I'm like, man, this guy's really pulling out a lot of different things out the hat. Like Chirply was one. I was like, oh, like the less people that know about that
you
shit,
told me
better.
you're like he saw
I was
that.
like,
he's like,
oh.
No, William.
No! I was like, no. I was like, yo, I could have been selling that shit for 2 years, bro. I ain't selling that shit. Don't talk to me about Chirply. Like, I'd be like, what? Chirply? What? Texting what?
Sure.
Like
a new bird or something.
Hey, listen, I'll give one that anyone can use, and it's super easy. Screaming Frog gives you everything you need to know. It's a free tool, and it gives you 100 pages. If you're looking for
I was going to give you one. You just go domain name /
100%
insight.xml.
Yeah.
And you take that, put that into a damn Excel sheet that will show you the posts, the pages, the categories, everything they use. So I could literally take that Go create the same categories on my website. Go create the same posts. Go create the same pages. Go create the same blog, everything. And just, recreate the content, obviously. We don't want anybody to saying you stole their timestamps or nothing like that.
I love Screaming Frog. So if you're gonna do audits for customers,
Screaming Frog is, automated shit.
it's the
Screaming
best.
Frog.
It's the best. And for free, you get 100 pages. So if you're looking local and if you're not doing national, it's more than enough. Anyone that's got up more than 100 pages in your logo, you're not doing enough work.
They're probably not, and they're not doing local, and a lot of times they're doing e-commerce and shit like that.
100%. Yeah. So and you can pay, like, I don't know the pay scale anymore. I have it, but you can pay and get unlimited pages. So if you need to do national, you can do it with it. But it blows it, like, it exports to Excel. It's amazing. It gives you all the H titles. It has all their meta descriptions. Like, it's the tool to use.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah, and a tool that gets the total words on the entire website, not just on the page. No, I don't. Personally, I don't. I see probably why you want to do that, but I'll do it page by page. But that's just me, Patrick.
I think you're
Dennis Acosta. Go ahead, Bert.
No, I think you're right. As far as word count goes, I would be more interested on interlinking strategy, which Screaming Frog would give you, than word count. Word count, you're better to use phrase or a surfer, and get what the top is. And again, when you get in there, make sure you take out Yelp and all of the directories and get true, apples to apples. But you're better from a word count standpoint there than you are with any of those other tools.
And the word counter that I use is just called Word Counter Plus, and it's a Chrome extension. So is there a software that reads all of your words ranking for GMB, like Ahrefs, organic keywords for regular domains?
Your Google Search Console.
Google Search Console, baby.
You can get other tools. If you go to SEMrush and you do your keyword for the site, and then you look beside the site number and it has a blue teardrop, that means that you're ranking 1, 2, or 3 in the 3-pack. But all those tools are only as good as the data going in, and the data comes from Google Search Console. So if you want to know what's actually happening for your site and your GMB, that's the place to look.
All right. Any experience with Agency Assassin? Because I know y'all are pushing that right now, and I have a question. People have questions about it in here.
Yeah.
You got that one, Mikey?
What's the question?
Assassin. Experience with Agency.
What's the question?
Just wants experience.
Oh, my experience has been good. If you're doing for client stuff, you got to be real careful, because it sends the statistics in your GMB insights like real crazy, like the click to call would be like unrealistic, and things like that. So with a client, I don't know how you got to really know what you're doing with that. With me, I don't deal with clients, and when we did test it with the one client, it worked, and we gave them the heads up. They said fine. So other than that, it works nice. It's only for GMBs though, only, and there's not a lot of options. You just put in your name, you pick the area, 10 keywords, click how much do you want, like on a sliding scale. I asked them to put that feature in, and they did, because click to call or go to the website, right? You can click it, like 10% click to call, 20, it's a sliding scale. And it's pretty cool. Here's what I always tell everybody, right? Test the shit out. Test it out on your own, see what it does, and then you'll know if it works or not. That's it. For me, it works. Now, also, I want to say this, and this also answers the law question earlier. I never, ever have only used one CTR tool to do CTR. Never. Not even X amount of years ago when CTR Booster came out was I only using CTR Booster. Just not happening, bro. I always mix up my traffic. Always. You can ask Brent. We and him didn't even know each other that well. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm using this, and something else. I really can't tell you right now, but I can when I will. And then I told him as soon as I could. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so y'all know I'm a no bullshit guy, right? Yeah, I don't even want to promote shit, to be honest. Will is a conversation I need to have with you, dog, because from putting one link, you know, I got some shit in my DMs that I don't need that in my life. I'm trying to help y'all out. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, for real, for real. Will talk me into trying to do this shit. So I don't want to hear no bullshit. Like, it's either fucking try it or don't. So I'm gonna leave that on that. But it works. Now, if it doesn't work, that's on you. Your on page might not be right. You might have not set the settings right, right? You should be mixing up traffic from distant sources. You don't know what fucking keywords you did. That's not on me.
That's a problem with a lot of times. I'm dealing with that with somebody else too, because I told him, he's like, how does he deal with this and this and this? Because everybody comes in your inbox. This is why I had to set up my systems where people would actually submit support tickets, because people come in with every question under the sun, bro. Every question.
There's no shiny gun. There's a lot.
I'll tell you this though. Sorry to cut you off. Where's my boy Vin? Is Vin in here? Vin ain't in here. Vin signed up for that shit like a couple days ago, and he already
he's killing it, man.
Just test it on your own, bro. Like, what the fuck? This shit get $400 for a first month or something like that. 5 GMBs. Throw it on something that you'll know if this is working or it's not, right? And then come back in here and be like, yo, guys, guess what? That's what it's about. Take action.
I think all of you guys should realize, like, I mean, Will's already alluded to tonight. He's not going to tell you about his 4G because he doesn't know if it works, right? He's got a pretty good idea, or he wouldn't be doing it. He wouldn't be investing in it. We know what works that we can talk about right now. And that's what we're going to talk about. But there's a whole nother level of guys that are willing to talk, that are dropping money, dropping time, dropping everything to see if this new stuff works. And when you see it in a course, or you see it on a show like this, or a call, that means that it's been tested, it works. And as long as you guys follow the steps.
We get that question so many times on lives. It's like, what do you think about this? Well, if you're using it, and Michael's using it, and I'm using it, Chris using it, Holly's using it, whoever's using it, it's probably, I can almost guarantee 100% it's working. I don't think Brent, Michael, myself, or Holly, Chris, anybody is going to go, hey, let me just use this stuff and slap it on a website that's going to fuck it up. I just don't like this client, It's this not the way it works. But the thing is, you got to learn is if you see them using it, go get it, test it yourself, and use it.
There you go, right? And they come back, and then at that point, you figure out, yo, I'm not listening to what this guy says no more. I'm gonna listen to what he says. Maybe I should give him another shot, because my on page really ain't that good, or he did say he uses 4 different fucking tools, right? Like, bro, like you ain't Michael, gonna never figure some shit out. Just one last thing, Will, because this shit irritates me, bro. Like, don't come here all the time and then go home and do nothing. Like, don't go on a mastermind for 6-7 hours, like, me and some people be on, and then don't take action because, bro, why are you wasting time? Take immediate action. Be in a rush to fail. The quicker you fail, the quicker you fucking win, bro. Period.
Right. Well said. That's how Michael and I got together. Like, we were in a mastermind together, and he's not changed. He's the same guy since the day I met him. I'm sure he was the same as long before that. But
when I first started using Viper, I remember he told me, he said, man, to be honest, I remember you told me, he said, be honest with you, Will, I don't use just Viper, because most people, I'll be honest with you, most people, when they get to I'll be honest with y'all, if they use Viper, they go, Viper's the motherfucking shit. and I don't want to use nothing else but Viper. And then you got other people that go, well, it's this, and I don't want to use nothing else but micro workers. And to me, I don't trust either one of those people. The people I trust is, nah, I'm using this. I'm using cell phones. I've tested this out. I've tested this out. And I'm like, they'll tell you what they found. But the people are just, I only want to use this one thing. It's like they don't try out, if you will, the whole gamut. So they don't know what actually works or doesn't work because they're just stuck on one thing.
Let me ask you this. Would you do your backlink profile all from one domain?
Nope.
No.
Right?
We all know that doesn't work, right? We've all got crummy links from somebody because that was a thing to do at one point. But you got them, and they all came from one domain. They said they didn't, but they did, and it didn't move the needle. Well, nothing's different with any of this stuff. It's got to come from all over. The internet is a web, and the web means there's much directional change as you can get, and it's got to point from all over.
So Patrick, why not lead generation for lawyers? Number one, they're very picky. Their laws, their marketing laws. It's not just, hey, let me do some fucking lead gen or SEO for them. They actually have a book of marketing laws that you have to be informed with. And guess what? If you fuck up, it's not their fault. They're coming after you.
Good lawyers.
Okay. Okay.
That's not even worth describing. That's just like, when a little kid does something wrong, no disrespect to no one, and you just go, no, like, you just use word like lead gen and law, go into drug addiction. That's what there you go. Like stop.
Drug addiction.
Charlie Brown. Let's see here. Bambi, is there a difference between creating pages or creating posts when it comes to content?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd love to hear what Mr. Brent says about this.
Oh man,
and Mr. Jones. I put both of y'all on the spot.
Pages and posts. I mean, there's no way to have a good GMB without a supporting website. So the pages have to be the supporting content, and then the posts have to pull the supporting content out of the website. So am I going to answer this right? I'm going to say they're definitely different, but you can't have one without the other and succeed. So there's a very nice balance between them. So think of your website as your money site. We all call it the money site. So you have this big money site, and then you have this GMB, which puts you in a place. Like, why does your client want a GMB? Because it's the easiest, cheapest way to get to the top of page of Google. So to get there, you need to have a really good website and an optimized GMB that pulls that GMB excellence out and shows it where it should. That's how I would answer it. So yes, they're different, but you can't have one without the other.
So very similar. Your pages should mirror or shadow your website pages should mirror or shadow inside of your GMB. What do I mean by that? Your services should be reflected as services and products inside your GMB. Now, your GMB posts, think of it this way. Whenever you create a piece of content, let's say it's 1,500 words. I can't get 1,500 fucking words on a GMB post, but I can break it up into bite-sized pieces and silo that content and daisy chain it. I prefer daisy chaining over quote unquote siloing, but siloing or stacking that content and doing the internal linking back to that blog post and so on and so forth. That is how personally I would do it. But I'm going to be going over on probably YouTube. I'm going to do probably a long version, which I normally don't do, or in class, of what it means to shadow a website or mirror. Those are two terms that most people use, is shadowing or mirroring. I prefer shadow, obviously, but that's how I would do it. You definitely, if you're not, you need to use products and services.
I would add one thing to that, William. So I think to have the perfect storm, you need a third entity, and that's YouTube. So And that should just be, again, a shadow of the upper two. I think the biggest one, did I just
No,
everything,
everything we do has YouTube. So for every client, and I literally told someone this on the live yesterday with Chris, how do you do signal genesis? Well, you'll never hear me promote just signal genesis. Okay, never will happen. You'll never hear me. And and Holly knows I love Holly shit, but even Holly does it. She'll take it and mix it up and tear it out. Right. So what I do is I go, here's a blog. I take that blog, I make it into an automated video using Wave. And then I take that and I stack that bitch up on YouTube, just like I do every other video I do. And that ranks on page 1 every time. Okay. Then I take that video, embed it into the blog post. Then I take that blog post and the video and I put it on a press release. And then I take that same and I put it on Holly's News Network, and it's all daisy chained together. And I shove that crap down Google's throat. So
they don't call it a web for nothing.
Yo, so real fast, right? I want to give my short, sweet answer to that question. But I am not an on-page technical SEO. Pages are to rank, posts are to help those pages rank. That's how I explain it to my team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, I agree.
So let's see. You guys are done measuring. Are you guys done measuring monitors? Listen, bitch. No, I'm serious. My one monitor is 49 inches, and I got another one that's 49. We got about 100-inch monitor over here, so none of y'all got that big of a monitor.
But are they curved?
Who wants to send me one of those monitors? That's the question. Somebody send me one of those monitors.
I'm taking a picture right now because I'm
a nice guy, you know. I just need an address and I'll send shit. Ask Holly. I've sent Holly gifts and shit like that. She likes that.
I need me one of those.
I send them to my peoples. I like my peoples. So
where's the questions?
Let's see here. Patrick,
getting some energy.
William, please give us some insights on your experience ranking white label SEO services globally. What are you doing different to rank? I don't do global SEO. I don't do international SEO. I don't do national SEO. I don't do statewide SEO. I only do local SEO. I will do a entire city, right? And I will kind of come out of that city a little bit, like 100 miles is about where I stay at. Now, national and international, there's only one person I'm doing international SEO for. That's me.
William, baby. Great.
And I'm already, you know, I could tell you what's made it happen. I haven't done one backlink yet. I've dropped 50,000 words of content in the first month, and I'm dropping another 50,000 this month. So once I'm done doing content for about 6 months, then I'm going to go in and actually do outbound linking and everything else. But I am doing internal linking and all the good shit. So Joseph Vang, I'm trying to dabble in Google My Biz verification. Is there anyone you know? I got tons of people offer that damn service. So I will tell you, test it, and then keep that shit to yourself. I'm just being honest, because if you share it with anybody, it's going to not work. I have a method. I can do 100 GMBs in a damn day. But you ain't going to hear me talking about it. You ain't going to hear me showing everybody that shit. Holly's in a hotel room watching. She has no audio. Appreciate it, Holly. Let's see. Brent and Michael, please. Oh, yesterday, I don't know if you watched it, Holly, but me and Chris, I was showing Chris the and I had a bunch of people coming in asking where to get your news network. So we were talking about that a lot yesterday. So let's see. Brent and Michael, please talk about how to set up a VPS properly. Well, he's already mentioned it. He's not going over that. So, Raphael,
hop on YouTube. Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you could actually learn, you know, just by actually, you know, studying it yourself. You know, how did I get involved in SEO? I'm going to wind up doing a video. You know how I got involved in SEO? I've told y'all this time and time again. I was doing a website for a guy. He was a millionaire. He introduced me to his multimillionaire friend, and I did his website. He liked it. And then he goes, hey, I want to be number one on Google. Can you make it happen? I knew nothing about SEO, but I said, well, how much does it pay? 2,000 cash. Yes, I know how to do that. And then this is an interesting story. We met at the old poker room in Orange Park Mall, if you ever know about it, in Jacksonville, Florida. Met him in the parking lot. He gave me in a manila envelope $2,000 cash, and that's where Mr. William Jones SEO was born. And I started, let me go into Google. How the fuck? And I started watching shit. This is before Chris Palmer was on there, Craig Campbell, anybody was doing no damn YouTube channels, none of that shit. I had to learn it myself. And so this is back in the day, I could spam my ass up to the top. I could use, if you know, EVO brute force, if you know, old style black hat world shit, you know, I ain't talking about this, you know, say something that's actually black hat, get your hand slapped and kicked out shit. So Emerson, Mr. Merlino mentioned that he's running CTR Booster and some other tools. He's already talked about that. Joseph, GMB optimization, I've been told from people, don't send links to the CID, only to shared link and vice versa. That's the same exact thoughts I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to once again tell you test, 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 test. I'm going to make a shirt. You know what it's going to say? Test, 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 test.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to back something up. So
yeah, I know back something up too.
Recently, I heard something with some CIDs linking to the CID, which I stopped doing years ago, right? So because I heard it and because I stopped doing it so long ago, I'm gonna test it. I got some new GMBs and I'm gonna test it, right? So just to show you, I don't talk this shit. I live this shit, and then I'm I come here to talk about it because Will made me. But test the shit on your own. But be careful with the CID link. You know what I mean? Because you can tank your shit.
Yeah.
That's for
it
sure.
It used to work really good, and then some things that used to work will stop working and then eventually come back again. So if it stops working, stop using it, and then maybe let's say a year, 2 years down the road, or even a few weeks or months, sometimes you come back and say, well, let me test that again, and then you test it and it works. Like you could tell me commenting on blogs and shit like that don't work. Oh, you a damn lie. You a damn lie, because I know that works.
But it used
to work and then stop working, and then it starts working back up again. Craig Campbell got his, people bitching and moaning at him about that because he did a legit gig and did it, and everybody's like, I can't believe you, blah 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 blah. And he's like, it works. Test it. So
yeah, Michael said it. So I mean that's where I am. The CID, in my opinion, listen, I love GMB Crush, I love it, but it drops the CID, and that's a part of their business, a part of their tool. But I think it's they're catching up. I think the shared link is but test, and maybe it changed.
So Patrick, you're asking how has my methods changed since versus Sitematch XML? It hasn't changed. I'm giving you a free method and I'm giving you paid method. Paid method is Exagio, and I tell you I'm sold on Exagio, and I'm not sold on most tools, and I will tell you not to use most tools. But if you look at what it does and go through that damn video, it's awesome. I mean, it blew me away, mainly I can literally reverse engineer someone's website all in one dashboard without having to go to this dashboard, that dashboard, every other way.
That new shit that they added recently is fucking nuts. I really need to get more in there. That shit is crazy, bro. You just put a competitor's URL, right? Click the button so it doesn't pull in anything on your site, which is a brand new site anyway, right? It gets all their keywords. And then you click the other, it's already somewhat clustered up. And then you click the other button and it phrase matches them shits and groups them in pages for you, dog.
Yep.
What? Do we own that,
Michael?
Yes, we own that, bro. That's one of the things we're super behind on getting to the same
and then you literally click right. You literally create new page. It opens up on a new page and you can do it from right there. I ain't got to go anywhere and do anything. So for me, I'll use Azagio for hacking the shit out of my competition. And then I'll use keyword trackers for other shit. And then I'll use local Falc and then lead snap for my geogrids and some other shit I do. I have multiple tools, but the ones I use are the ones that I know work. If I'm not using it, it's because I know it don't work. Or it doesn't
Speaking
work
of
for me.
shit that
I'll
we're
put
not
that way.
using, Michael, what are you doing with WP Amplified, man? Have you been watching what's been going on in the group?
No, why? What's been going on?
I dropped a couple of hand grenades in there, man, to try and find out what's going on with it. But had a
Yeah,
Zoom.
everybody want me to do the training on it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't do
your
everything.
name
bro.
came up, Jonesy, a couple of times, you know,
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
I said, man, it's not up to him to do that. So, but anyway, we got the dust settled. But let me tell you, dude, that software is a sleeper, man. It's a nuclear weapon, dude. So you should revisit it and have a look. I mean, you've got high DA backlinks on tap, man.
How's it on tap if it's a new subdomain?
Because you're using the Google juice, the high authority domains from their search and their API, and you're flowing those DA links straight to your money site via the subdomain.
All right,
It's
so
hard. It's kind of hard to get your head around, man, but it's a pretty powerful tool.
so
I'll
Graham,
tell
so
you.
you're gonna shoot us a video, Graham, for me and Brent?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Dude, I've set up a Nimbus page, man, with all the videos in there that I've gathered through the group. So I'll shoot you a link, man. You can go in and have a look, and that'll probably be the best way to get your head around it.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I get all messed up when, you know, you had Money Robot, and the problem with all of that stuff is that it just dilutes itself. So I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think you're going to be impressed. And part of the problem that we sort of nutted out the other day with it is that it's so kind of simple, and they've reverse engineered. They've basically turned Google into their bitch and said, hey, you know, Google, you're all about using us for information. Now we're going to use you, right? And see how you like it.
So
it's
how big up passed around the footprint if they're using an API?
Man, no one's
Anyway,
gonna-
that's sorry, William. Sorry, that's a conversation. I'll take that back. Maybe we can talk outside of here, but I'd love to know.
No, go ahead. There was one client that I have, they had a rank and rent, and I'll give you this because I'd have to go through my shit to find it. We install them for everybody. So that's number one. Anybody that's our client gets it. But the thing is, we had one client, Michael, she's a student in here too. I forget the name, but she had a rank and rent, never hadn't touched it, doing no backlinks, no press releases, no nothing, right? She installed site search, right? Rankings went woof.
Wow. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
So I just have it, you know, and I have people saying, I want, you know, William make, you know, tutorials on it and shit like that, but I ain't got time for it. Mainly, you know, I have various reasons, but I'll discuss those with y'all after I get off here. But nevertheless, let's see what else we got here. You have one attorney for SEO only real estate closings foreclosure. Good luck with that, Gary. Patrick, yes, same with real estate mortgages, lots of laws. Aaron, what is daisy chaining? Daisy chaining is simply, I'll give you an example. I did a GMB post, another GMB post, another GMB post. On this GMB post, I go see previous GMB posts, see previous GMB posts, see previous GMB posts, and they're daisy chained or chained to each other. Okay, that's the easiest way I can get.
Yeah, try to establish, when you do it, try to establish some anchor text as well. Try to like link from one of your keywords to another keyword to another keyword to another keyword.
Bingo. Patrick, you say I still don't get why sometimes there is no sometimes. That's number one. You use a video embed on Holly's embed network versus just using an article. I always drop every video I do into Holly's embed network, and I always drop the same thing on Holly's news network. There's no sometimes with me when that shit. I've seen the effects that it has. I've seen the effects that work, and I didn't even come out and say, hey, go use Holly's news network till after I tested it. I didn't say anything about the embed network till I tested it. So go test that shit. Go buy it. You don't have to, Holly shit's cheap. Cheap. You could do one post with Holly. I know she can talk right now, but one post with Holly, right? Across her entire network. If you message her, I think for like $100. So you could take that and get 400, if you will, 400 Google News Network backlinks in a day for like $100. That's dirt cheap. And then RUR, DR, and all that shit jumped up. So Sean, I believe, 2 questions. Last week you did a SOP for content. Jarvis using roofing as an example. I have not put that in there. I'm going to do one this week and show y'all. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, real fast. So, who actually uses Jarvis but themselves, like, day to day? Like, Will, when was the last time you were in Jarvis?
Yesterday.
Okay, because all right, so I've been using Jarvis probably before anybody in here. Not that it matters, but long time, right? Beta, my low pricing. And today's the first actual time I wrote an article. And bro, they got some new features in there. That shit is crazy. You got anyway, if you haven't checked it out, I don't know when they added all this stuff, but it has a little
they added
AI
a bunch
content
of stuff.
brief. Like, it's a bunch of new shit in there.
You can go in there and say sound like Donald Trump, and they will make it right as if you're Donald Trump. I mean, crazy shit. Patrick, Holly says, Patrick, the embed network is an auto linking. It helps it link. Just having those link plus it puts on the back end of the news sites. Then you use the network to power up those links and embedding. Go ahead, Mike. You were going to say something?
No.
Okay. Aaron, can you give an overview of why you're doing so much content up front? Easy. I know it works. I mean, I'll tell you this. You want to challenge. I'll do this. You take a site that's like, let's say your average, which is about, let's say 5,000 keywords. And you come up and I'll build a brand new site, brand new domain name, not an age domain name, nothing. I'll drop 50,000 words of content. Who do you think's going to win, me or you? I guarantee no backlinks, none of that shit.
May I add to that, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Will's absolutely right. But as we get further and further away, and I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, is now you're looking for entities and keywords, person, place, or thing that will pull their own knowledge panel. If you're not thinking in that mentality, and you put a ton of words on a website, the chances of you having entity and keyword density higher than your competitor is greater. So there's 2 ways to think about it. Either put a ton of words on there and you do it because you want to put a ton of words on there, or you put a ton of words on there because you're starting to hit these new metrics that are being captured by the Google algorithm.
And that's the key. It's not a matter of just, hey, let me throw in 50,000 words of content. I go very specific. Okay, let's say this, and Brent has mentioned this before. We've talked about photo optimization, where you can take CID and keywords and place them in there. But if I go give you an example, a picture of a roofer, and he's on the rooftop. There's asphalt, roofing hammer, roofing nails, nail gun, roof shoes, all these things, if you will, that I can actually shove into that image. Now I could do the same thing on a website and go, and write content about all these different things as well, because what I'm trying to get known as is the number one entity in that city when it comes to that specific niche. And the only way to do that besides authoritative links is content. And you're creating content saying, I'm the number one dude when it comes to whatever niche you're in, roofing, lawyer, doctor, whatever it is.
Guys, listen to what this man is. Go ahead, Brent. Matter of fact, go.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that when you're building a website, you follow exactly what William just said. The only thing that happens is that we get caught in this loop where we've been taught how to sell. And to sell, we want to be storytellers, right? And when you start to tell a story on a website, the problem becomes that your focus on the keyword that you're trying to rank that page for becomes diluted. So don't tell the story, you know, and then what you want to do is find the keyword, find the LSI, find all the entity keywords that are based around that in that cluster, and build your page about that. And then below that, so that's to the fold. Some say are 30,000 characters. Characters meaning keystrokes, not words. Then I said it earlier, there's a cliff, and that's what Google talks about. And then you go below that, then you tell your story about what you wanted, because it doesn't matter because Google doesn't count it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that already. It's like we used the old term above the fold, and now they're using the same thing for the GMBs, except they're calling above the fold or above the cliff on GMBs.
Right. Yeah. So, and there's lots of testing to back it up. You can go out and search Google and look for the cliff and all of these things. That's the real deal. It's about entities. It's about, there used to be keywords. We stuffed keywords everywhere, and we stuffed massive amounts of keywords. Now we need to find out entities. What's making your content more authoritative? Don't be afraid to have your stack, however you want to stack every one of your competitors and driving directions from your competitors. You know, we don't want anyone to think about our competitors. We do. That makes us an authority, because we've mentioned everybody in our location that has anything to do with what our niche is about. You know, that's entity stacking. That's where the world's going, not keywords, but entities.
Let's see here. And I don't always do that either. So you also have to look at your competition. You know, look at your competition. That's the first thing I'll do, you know. Let's see. It is a lot of work. That's why most people fail at SEO. It's a lot of work. You want to win. How bad, you know, I say this in Scale Your Agency. What do you want? When do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to give up? Most of the people don't want to give up the damn series at night that they sit in front of a TV instead of reading a book or putting in work. It's just a fact. People are lazy. You know, so that's fine. Be lazy. Pay me. I'll do it.
Shit,
But
don't
you
get
gonna
me
pay me.
started on that shit, bro. Motherfucker, you don't watch every Netflix fucking special show that's out, but you ain't test the shit from fucking 3 webinars ago. I'm telling you, bro, it's why I'm not meant to be in this realm, because I'll put hands on someone. You come around me with that bullshit, see if you don't get fucking slapped. Fuck up out of here. And I'm saying that, bro, because there's a bunch of shows that I want to catch up on, right? And I got work to do, bro. Like, and I could take off for fucking 5 days if I wanted to, but nah, I want to test shit. Imagine what I'm saying, bro. I am the boss of my shit. I do what I want when I want. Brent will tell you this. I might dip for 2 weeks and just, I'm good, just so you know, but I ain't online.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that, because right now there's so much new interesting shit happening that it's like, I'm actually me testing Mike, not my VAs. Yeah, I got them testing shit too, but I'm telling you, I just wrote an article to test some shit myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, gotta dive in, bro. And
guys-
I want to touch on what Will said about content. Because this is something that I didn't really understand till very recently, and both Will and Brent are the ones that have helped illuminate this shit in my mind. Because I'm a spammer, bro. Give me good links, anchor tech, fucking spam traffic, and boom, right? But that's not working no more like that, especially now with organic. It's just not. So keywords is content is for the keywords, LSIs, right? Like entities, entity stacking, entities. Like if you don't know what we mean by that, take some time and really fucking learn what the fuck we mean, because that's what everything is going now. Everything is about entities, right? So if you're writing about a roofer, then that means your content needs to fucking describe houses, homes, roofs, all the different type of roofs that there are, construction businesses, the biggest brand of construction businesses there are, the biggest construction fucking roofing manufacturing. You understand what I'm trying to say, bro? The shit gets deep, all that type of shit that I don't like and I've always ran from. Now I'm like, nah, this shit is kind of interesting, but I do need to look at it from a bird's eye view, like one of those mind maps that open up when you click on it, or else it's too much data for me to consume at once. My point is, I never thought to rank for roofer, right? I'd have to write content about some shit like, get the fuck out of here, right? I'm spending money on content to write this other bullshit. Bro, that's not bullshit. That's the shit that ranks you, because Google has to put it all together. They need to like, this entity, oh, he mentioned all these different entities. He's got to be the best roofer in that area. Period and point blank. The keywords and the LSIs are like a bonus, like Brent said last week. It's about entities, and then keywords are LSIs basically.
So
because your main, go ahead.
Yeah, let me add to that. So every website, local website you go on to said, been in business since. Google doesn't care when you've been in business since. Google wants to know what kind of nails are the best to use to put the shingles on in the roofing. Like, be creative about what you're doing. Like I'm not going to show you the site, but all the images in my site label what's on the image, every single one. So it's an AC, it's an HVAC site, and the main hero page has bullet points off every one of the AC units, and it shows the hose that comes off, and then the wrench that you have to use, what size the wrench is. Like, dive into what's it about, and then put all that stuff together, and then go back and check those wrench. Well, wrench has its own knowledge panel, right?
Yep.
Knowledge
graph, all that
has a
stuff.
knowledge graph. It all has it. And that's what Google's not a person, so they can't read between the lines. They take all of this data and go, our cloud for HVAC shows this. And this guy's used every one of those words. And he's put them on images. And no one else has put them on images.
That's why we're doing that with, and specifically that international site is for white label SEO services. And if you go on that damn website, like, we're already ranking for white label SEO, white label SEO agency, white label SEO services, patch submission services, schema services, G-Stacks, Cloud Stacks, all that shit that everybody be using. And I ain't got not one damn backlink on that thing. So that's got 50,000 words of content. We've already probably wrote another 10,000 so far this month that we got to drop in there. But that's what you're trying to do, is become the entity for us. The stuff that most people don't want to do. How many writers does it take to write 50,000 words of content? I have one dedicated writer just for my one project. Okay, for that one project. But we produce about close to 30 million words of content every month. So I'll put it that way. We put out a lot. We put out close to 15 million every week. Ryan, what's the best way to get your GMB to recognize social media accounts? Okay, I'm actually going to be doing a video on this. So number one, you need to have your social media account information needs to be the same. So is your name the same on your YouTube channel, your GMB channel, your LinkedIn channel, your Facebook channel, or is it a variation? In other words, is it CTR Geeks, or is in this case it's GMB CTR Geeks? Well, you just fucked yourself up. So that, and then what I also do is I take that information, those links, and put it inside of my schema, and then they'll pop up. Usually I've seen it happen within 24 hours up to a few weeks. Okay. But that's how you make it happen. It pops up in the GMB once you connected it, because what you got to understand, the GMB is supposed to be a reflection, a shadow of what? Your website. And then on top of it, is that information the same? Is it then on your website physically? And then is it also on the back end of the code as well inside your schema? All right, Holly, I have to finish setting up the tier campaign for the best looking man in Baltimore. Sounds good, Holly. Michael, did you see how I link with the CID? That's from Holly, Michael. He'll get back to that one. Let's see, Emerson, but I do have a GMB for you, Holly, in correlation to that little term you're going to tier out for. I'll message you. Emerson DeHart, are these recordings? Yes, they're in the back end at rankfortressacademy.com under GMB Pros. Okay. There's hundreds of them in there, just like Michael said. And a lot of times people don't even watch, so watch them or they don't implement. Be in a hurry. I like that saying, man. And be in a hurry to fuck up. I love it. What's the best way to get your, okay, Patrick, so Holly is your Google. No, you use both of them, brother. Google News Network is the power. The embed network is the extra gravy. Think of the news network as the mashed potatoes and the gravy's on top. Okay. Okay, good. Joseph, I just got your shirt, bro. All these questions I asked could have been answered with this.
Oh yeah, I posted that shit in our group already.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be making some other shirts, bro. Test. Me and Michael, like, you want to know why I came out with swag?
You know what? I just remember we had that conversation a while ago. Word. So matter of fact, I get a little bit of royalty on the t-shirts. Then
he goes, we need to come up with some sayings and put them on some shirts. So maybe we'll put our heads together and come up with sayings, because I like a lot of your sayings, man. Be like, shut up and test it, bro.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You know, we need to get into the royalty game, Michael.
Yeah, we just need a little cut, just a little something. Just a little something.
Got your shirt, bro. Awesome. Laughing out loud. Just kidding. Thank you for all your help, William, Brent, Michael. I appreciate it, family. Can you daisy chain press releases? Yes, if you're not,
hell yeah. Shit. You're leaving
money on the table.
What are you doing?
Daisy chain them. Like I said, when we do press releases, we're doing the blog, then it goes to the YouTube, then that goes back into the blog, and it's all linked. And then we take that and put it on a press release, and it's, guess what? Daisy chain to the YouTube and everything else again. Then we go, let's go over to Holly's Embed Network with that YouTube video, drop that bitch up in there. And then we go Holly's News Network. Oh, let's drop that in there too. Now we just shove that thing right down Google's throat, and they go, you're on page one.
Has anyone in here been lucky enough to have two mirrors opposing each other? And you look in the mirror and it's infinite. It just goes back and forth. So think of all of these things, what Williams is just talking about, as those mirrors. And a Google bot is going in to crawl your site, and it gets in this wormhole where it goes back and forth, and gets this infinite, just this wicked loop of entity, site, chain. And then it can't go anywhere, but it's because it's just encapsulated in your content. And then it comes out and goes, how can't they be perfect? How can't they be the best? I couldn't even get out of there. It had so much information I couldn't get out. That's the mindset. The mindset is 2 mirrors, and look in the mirrors and just never get out.
And that's also why I'm always talking about Google Sites and embed everything, right? Because when you put them iframes in there and you embed everything, right? Especially the iframe or the iframe, you know, when the bot comes, it's the same thing, bro. Same exact shit. Just keeps looping. I call it the loop-de-loop. I didn't make that up. That's just what we call it. That's the loop-de-loop, the loop-de-loop. I think people still sleep, even though we say that shit. I think people sleep on iframes, embed. I always call them embeds, but iframes, right? Like Press Advantage, gives you the hub page. You got Pearl trees. You got, if you slick with it, you could take an S3, a bucket page, use the iframe generator, embed that, embed the GMB website, like Twitter Moments, which Twitter Moments, oof.
Holly, I just sent you something. Excuse me, Holly, I just sent you something for your little tier network that you're working on for your GMB. So go have fun. I'll even make you a manager or owner if you want it. But nevertheless. All right, we're done for the day. At 10 o'clock in another hour, we have Becca on to go over how to make money with VAs. Once again, I will see you guys there whenever I can. I will, in about 48, 72 hours. We'll have this up. So what I was saying is not necessarily challenge, Aaron. I'm just saying test. Try doing one at like 15,000 words and then take another and drop 50K in words, so test it out. Test. Me and you, everybody leaves. Michael, Brent, hang around for a bit. Okay.
All right, hey, Will, real quick, I'm gonna drop the agency assassin link. Any of y'all that sign up, let us know, because me, Brent, and Will are gonna do something only for those people, right? So if you don't let us know, that's on you. That's cool with you, Will?
Yeah, off. Go for it, man.
And they get 10% off because it's not cheap. Test it. Hit us up. Let us know if you do get it, so that it's not hard to set up, but I'll make sure that you get set up right.
All right, see you guys
and it's
later.
not difficult. Have a good night, y'all.
Y'all drop the link.
I'm here.
Link inside of CTR Geeks, and we drop those links in there too. Also in the back end of today's class, send me the link, Mike, and I'm gonna put it on the back end of this class so y'all can get some, traffic that way.
All right, beautiful.